What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. So, okay, I got a little confession to make. I actually deleted my first video about the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl 59 performance. The reason being is there's so many layers and there's so much to get to that I did kind of if you want to say a knee-jerk reaction. I actually did a blow-by-blow of the entire performance, but I didn't touch on all the layers and the backlash that this performance has received. Now, just to let you know, it has been officially dubbed as the highest viewed or most viewed Super Bowl performance of all time. I think 133 million people viewed it, which is a record, and a record definitely for the Jay-Z produced Super Bowl halftime show. So this was an overwhelming win for Jay-Z. Okay. Now, would other performers get the same share at this moment as far as share of people viewing? I don't know, but it's received a lot of interesting commentary online and a lot of debate as to how good of a performance it really was as an overall Super Bowl performance. So I'm going to just break it down, really what I liked, what I didn't like. We sum it up in the end. And we're going to talk about the different angles as to why people liked it and why people would not have liked it. Because I do have some criticisms of it. You know what I mean? I don't think it was all as perfect as some people make it out to be, but I understand why people take a side on this performance. So I'll get right to it. This was a performance for hip hop culture, and the hip hop head in me, the hip hop aficionado in me, loves this performance. But as far as pure entertainment purposes for a casual audience or the casual hip hop fans or people who aren't fans of hip hop at all, wouldn't be able to appreciate this performance. I'm going to tell you flat out. And that's kind of what the debate is online. He did this for hip hop culture. He did this for the culture. And that's why I like it. But as an overall performance, it stacked up against the other Super Bowl performances of all time, I don't know if it's the best or one of the best, because this is for hip hop. And that's why I like what Kendrick did. He represented for hip hop. He represented for what he represents, which is hip hop culture, rap music, lyrics, and real meaning behind stuff. So what did I like? I like the theatrical presentation of it. Felt like a show. You know what I mean? With Samuel and L. Jackson in there, the pauses in there. It made you feel like you were at a live show. It was very entertaining in that aspect. That made it seem like really like not just a concert, but a full-fledged show. I like the dancing in there. I like the symbolism of the dancing in there with a lot of the dancers making up the American flag, the red, white, and blue contrast in there. The fact that it was, black men and women working together, making up the American flag, showing unity between black culture. I like that. I like a lot of the symbolism in there. I like the song selection. I thought there was a lot of energy behind that. First of all, the intro was hard as shit. That was hard as anything. That's 2 tracks off the new Kendrick album, whenever that's going to drop, probably in the springtime or summertime, that I got to listen to it. That intro was hard as anything, and he killed it. I mean, the energy of DNA to squabble up to Humble. You know what I mean? Even though Humble was never my favorite Kendrick song, but just the energy of that, I like that on that stage. Right into Euphoria, which to me, Euphoria may be my most favorite Kendrick Lamar song. The energy of that, just the venom he comes out with for Drake on that, and just the raw, just emotion. That is just a certified banger of a song, Euphoria, and I'm glad he put that out there. Also, DNA. I probably mentioned that DNA in there, which is another one of his best songs in there. So I liked how it started. I like the SZA. She came out, she killed it, she did her thing. You know, I liked how he slowed it down. I like how he kind of paused and kind of teased, not like us, you know what I mean? And then Samuel L. Jackson kind of came out there and said, "Oh no, you're not gonna do that. You can't say that. You can't do it." Like, which goes into some of the theatrics, you know, about it. He did make a joke about, you know, threatening to sue, you know, another diss alluding to Drake. You know what I mean? Samuel L. Jackson brought out that the culture brought down one man, you know, alluding to Drake. You know, that was kind of a subtle dig at Drake, with Samuel L. Jackson saying that the culture, you know, prevails, you know, over one man. You know what I mean? So I just love like the vibe, the hip hop culture vibe overall. You know what I mean? And this was definitely for hip hop culture, for hip hop heads. He held it down and held down a fire performance. You know what I mean? And not like us. Of course, he had to perform not like us. I thought he did exactly what he was going to do. He's going to push the envelope to say as much as he could without saying, you know, the PDF term or, you know, and all of that. He did the A minor, which was fire, and had everybody singing that. I saw that coming. But he edited just enough to make it entertaining to play that song and play that hit. And I loved how he went right into TV off and turned the TV off with DJ Mustard and brought Mustard out there to represent too and give him some shine on the biggest stage in the world. So overall, very good performance, very solid. Now, there are some criticisms of this performance. I think he left some meat on the bone per se. You know what I mean? As they say in sports terminology. Where was loyalty with Rihanna? I was absolutely, I'm not going to say, I pretty much almost thought it was a guarantee Rihanna was going to come out for loyalty. I mean, I don't know why he didn't perform that song. That's another one of his biggest hits. Definitely Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. Where was a verse from that? I'd even say Backseat Freestyle. That's another one from him. You know what I mean? Kind of the contrast between, you know, turn up energy in the streets of old school LA, you know, hip hop, gangster rap, you know, and where it was all right. Now I get it. He performed it 2 years ago, or really it's 4 years ago now. Well, 2022, 3 years ago, really, to get the math right. In LA, he performed that on the Dr. Dre show. But I thought All Right would fit excellent with this scene, the theme of hip hop culture, with the dancing and the artistry. I thought All Right would definitely fit in on this stage, at least a verse, at least some of the energy of that song, you know. So he left some songs out, and I kind of think he left. I'm not going to say something to be desired because the song was the performance was fire, but it could have been better. And here's my thing. Like, I felt that he did a little bit too much of the Drake dissing. You know, the game over at the end. Of course, I referenced the Samuel L. Jackson dig about how the culture put one man down on that. You know, I want to say this, but I might get sued, Euphoria of I mean, I would have been fine with just Euphoria and doing Not Like Us. Just as a song. Just do Not Like Us, But I think a lot of the references towards Drake, I'm not going to say it took away, but in a way, it gave ammo to people that are going to say, well, you blew up because you dissed Drake. You know what I mean? If he would have substituted some of that for A Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe or A Loyalty with Rihanna, you know what I mean? Or even a Backseat Freestyle, I would have enjoyed that more. Like, make that more about, he should have made it more about Kendrick, about why he's a great, phenomenal artist. Like, you already crushed Drake. Drake's done. But the more you go on and you talk about Drake and you go on, the narrative is going to be, oh, you trying to live off of Drake now. You know what I mean? I would just get back to regular hip hop. I mean, the party died. You know what I mean? That's done. That's over with. Now let's focus on getting back to real hip hop, real lyricism in the culture. You know what I mean? And I think overall, that's where I think the disconnect why people were criticizing it. You got to understand that the Super Bowl, you got country music fans, you got people from white America, all walks of life of America, from from Texas, from Montana, from everybody's watching the Super Bowl all around the world, and they're not into hip hop like that. A lot of people, or most of the casual audience, want to see a show. They want to see entertainment. They want to see good harmonization, singing, you know what I mean, dancing and all that. Even though it had singing and dancing, but I could see why a casual fan would not like this, because this performance was absolutely for hip hop culture. And see, this is where I'm conflicted, because the hip hop head in me wants to love this show because it represented who Kendrick was and is. It represented hip hop culture. It represented Black culture and urban culture. This is what you want. You know what I mean? But it's going to go against, the mainstream culture, and it's going to go against a lot of conservative ideology too. It's ironic that he had this performance and Donald Trump was in attendance. You know what I mean? It was brought to my attention that people, in the third quarter were singing Country Road, which was Donald Trump's campaign theme song. You know what I mean? So this is, you got to understand, this performance is in a very mixed conservative crowd. This is not for hip hop culture, but I like that Kendrick made it about hip hop culture. He made it about our culture, about our shit. And he represented for the first official pure hip hop act to headline a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But I get it. I get why there is a disconnect, and some people might say it's trash. You know what I mean? Or might not. I'm not going to say might not like it, but they don't respect it because they don't understand it. I know on Fox Sports, Craig Carton, he's a former talk show radio host in New York, big sports radio host, said this is the worst hip hop. It was the worst Super Bowl halftime of all time. But Craig Carton wouldn't appreciate that. He probably listens to, I don't know, Metallica, or listens to Billy Joel or something. You know what I mean? He's an old head. He wouldn't understand what hip hop is. So that's why it's like I'm conflicted, because I love the hip hop show. I love the halftime show, but I could understand and why other people don't understand it and wouldn't like it. So overall, I thought it was a phenomenal show. Overall, I give it about an 8.5 out of 10. because he did leave some songs out. But compared to other hip hop shows, or not hip hop shows, but Super Bowl halftime shows, let me get my thing right. It's not the Michael Jackson performance. That's the greatest Super Bowl halftime of all time. I think it's better than the Rihanna performance. I'd say the only performance that was better out of the last couple of years was the Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, and Snoop Dogg. That was my favorite one that Jay-Z produced. But it was better than Rihanna. It was better than Weeknd. It was better than Coldplay. It kept me more entertained than Beyonce. But people might put Beyonce over this because it's Beyonce. You know what I mean? But I think Kendrick did his thing. But I understand why there is a backlash behind it, even though I don't support the backlash. And let's be honest, it calls out more, it calls out diversity. It calls out what the battle that we're going on, socially and politically in this country, on diversity and DEI. It goes directly to that. A lot of the messages behind there. And again, that's going to open up the divide again, So again, you're seeing the divide that's going on in this country right now because of this performance. But at the same time, I like that he went there because he represented for hip hop. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting show. I see why there was controversy over this. But Kendrick Lamar, you represented. You did your thing for hip hop. I commend you for that. Great show. But what did y'all think? Did you like the Kendrick Lamar show? What were your criticisms of it? Do you think he left some meat off the bone, per se? Left off some great songs out of that set? Did he focus too much on Drake? You know what I mean? What do y'all think? Definitely post your comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let me say it right. Like, share, and subscribe to Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. Let me hear your comments. What do y'all think about this? Most talked about, most viewed Super Bowl halftime show of all time. Most definitely. So it was a win. It was 100% a win. But why the backlash, and what did you think? Did you enjoy it? What parts did you like? What parts didn't you like? Definitely let me know in the comments, and I'll catch up with y'all in another vlog pretty soon, all right? Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening, all right? Peace.